tail going to continue?
Ready.
If it does,
Play.
it'll be a big victory against one of the world's best players.
Let's for service. Let's for service.
And we always talk about, John, the importance of the first game. In particular for this man, I think the first game is really important, that he just gets off to a solid hold.
Yeah, it's a settler, isn't it? He wants to settle the nerves.
30 left.
I think the good news is for Sandgren is that whilst he hasn't played on Hisense, he would have had a little bit of a hit on it. He did play with Renka on Margaret Court Arena.
Let's for service.
And he gave him a bit of a pounding too. It was 2, 1 and 4, but there are reasons for that, because Stan was only playing in his second competitive match in about 6 or 7 months. It's interesting to look at the times that Sandgren has had for his matches. First round, 1 hour 45, and there was a 7-6 set in there. 1 hour 28 against Wawrinka, 2:56 against Martira. But it was 4 sets and 4 long sets.
14.
Yeah, that is very interesting, because generally speaking, Sandgren likes to make matches physical. He likes to extend points. He's a very good athlete. He's a good mover. And I would have expected slightly longer matches, but he's done very well to get on and off the court.
Yay, Sandgren.
That is a mighty big sigh of relief that you hear right now. Just to get that game on the board. So important to the young man from the United States.
And I think this match is going to come down to a few little things, and one of those key tactical changes that I think Sandgren might have to make, that he would have addressed in training yesterday, is his natural court position is quite deep. Now, if you start getting back too deep and Dominic is finding his shots, he'll start pinning you all over the court. So I think he might just have to try to get a little bit closer to the baseline in his rallies than he normally does.
One encouraging thing from his first service game, he landed every first serve.
Dominic, no stranger to really going after that second serve. Puts a great deal of shape on it, but really accelerates up the back of the ball. Bit too much at that time.
Oh, yes. Good wheels.
Well, he is incredibly quick, is Sandgren, and not only did he show some great wheels then, some great movement forward, but also the feel with his hands when he got there. Well done.
15-13.
He's used that serve to great effect so far in this week. He used it a lot in his match against Mannarino 2 days ago. We often talk about his power, but hitting his spots, his placement is another thing that he does so well. He executes beautifully.
30-all.
The match has only been going 5 minutes, but this is a huge moment early on. If Sandgren's able to manufacture an early break, not only will it settle the nerves, but it will boost the confidence.
Game.
What about that? Well, you only need to be at 5% off in this if you're playing a top 100 player. And who would have expected that it would be Sandgren who would be 2 love? That's significant early, John Millman.
Oh, he's out of the blocks nice and quick. The perfect start.
15 love.
It's not bad either at 192. He's got one down at 198 so far. Everything is working the way that he would have wanted to in the opening minutes of this match.
Yeah, nice. Really smart there. He was back quite deep then, but recognizing the shorter ball. Look how quick he is to get to the baseline here. Boom. Great shot.
Well, he didn't quite get the return. I think he was surprised by the lack of speed. It took half an hour to get to him, but he fashioned a return of serve, Thiem, and might have been a bit lucky to get away with it.
Guys, please try to stay quiet during play. Thank you.
Brilliant touch from Thiem, seeing that he pushed his man wide and he made the move quickly.
And Thiem's no stranger to the net, and they're the types of volleys that he wants to play. He'll normally approach more on the steal scenario, so when his opponent's really off the court, he'll look to come and put away that one volley as opposed to hitting multiple.
Game. Sandgren.
What a start this has been. 12 points to 6 in the early stages, and Sandgren leads 3 games to love. the Sandgren camp looking on pretty good terms with themselves. I think this may have even exceeded their wildest expectations. Jim Madrigal and the left of your picture.
And in the middle of the picture is Jared Chaplin. Now, he's not part of the Sandgren team, but he did go to college with Tennis Sandgren. He's from Tennessee. He went to Tennessee, and he's a New South Wales boy, actually, cheering on his fellow alumni.
And I think somewhere in the box down there is one of our fellow commentators. I think Mike Cation has made his way down into Tennis Sandgren's box, so we might try and pick him up at some stage. Let's see, is Mike there yet?
He's not there yet.
No, he's not there.
We will have to check in later because he definitely is going to come.
Might have got to the hot dog stand on the way down.
We did have to call a match this the doubles before here on High Sense, so might have worked up an appetite.
Food for thought for Dominic Thiem. Down one break, but down love 3, so the set's half gone.
He's got a very heavy forehand, has Dominic Thiem. When I say heavy, it has good penetration through the court, but also a great deal of topspin. So when it hits, it really lifts.
Out. 30-11.
We made mention before that early in this match, Tennis Sandgren has been able to land consistently the first serve. It's dipped a bit, but it's still 75. But Thiem really struggling getting that first ball into play in the first couple of service games. And that's what happens when he does. He will go to that serve in that court, time in, time out. And perhaps there's an indicator that he's just settled down now. Gets on the board, holds to love. Into Bresnik, the man on the right in the front row. In charge of Dominic Thiem, very experienced and wily coach.
Love 15.
Well, Sandgren just has to be careful. Dominic Thiem starts finding his range on his ground strokes. He was a long way back in that point, closer to the fence than the baseline.
even though he didn't win the point, it's a nice mixture that he's giving Thiem at the moment. He's throwing in a few off-pace balls. And so, good change-up in the middle of the rally from him.
I mean, what a rally. 32 shots. Just trying to push the issue a little bit too much there at the end there, Sandgren, but great point from both players. Physical tennis. Yeah, I love how proactive Sandgren was on that point, looking to get around and use his forehand.
30 all.
Great approach this one. Good quality into the Dominic Thiem backhand. Still had a bit of work to do with the volley. Goes out to meet it. Well done. Well, Sandgren, a brick wall in that point, and turns defense into attack with that wide forehand. Dominic looking up at his box saying, what have I got to do to get it past him?
Yes.
18 shots in that rally to go with the 32 of the rally earlier in this game.
Well, just completely wrong foots him here. Dominic Thiem expecting the cross-court reply out of that backhand, but Sandgren had other ideas.
That is a very big hold from the American. He had to work to make it, but he's still got the momentum on his side. He leads 4-1 in the first set. Well, what an impressive start it's been by this man. If he's nervous, he's not showing it.
No, the nerves would be well and truly gone right now. Now he's got a real feel at the moment for Dominic's weight of shot now. They've played so many of those long rallies. He now knows a little bit what to expect, what type of ball Thiem has, considering this is their first meeting. And so far, he stood up to the test.
Time.
A good crowd over on the western side of Hisense Arena with the shade to protect them. Not the hottest of days in Melbourne by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still pretty warm when you're in the direct sunlight, and it's been hot in the kitchen for this man. Dominic Thiem down one break, but he's had his hands full. And that's the first time that he's produced the big serve. That's the first time he's cranked it up over 200. That one was 211. And that is 8 successive points on the team serve now. A couple of love games back to back. He's settled into his work. And as comfortable as Sandgren has looked, you wouldn't be putting the first set in the book just yet.
Does very well there. Proactive movement. Takes this backhand early. Doesn't allow the ball to bounce. Well done.
Such a marked difference between his first and second serves. His average first serve speed has been 172. That second serve went in at 121.
And that seems to be his favourite serve, that flat one down the tee. He's gone to that one more often than not. That was great hands there from Sandgren. Looks like Dominic Thiem had this point won, but Sandgren showed some great feel from the back of the court. He meant to have that ball just dipping at the toes.
It looked as though there may have been an out ball in that rally.
I think Dominic won that point twice then,
Yeah.
because that forehand did look long. Had to do it the hard way. So hard though to stop play in the middle of the point because there's so much on the line. You stop play and it catches just a fraction, you lose the point.
Big point here for the American. As well as he's done so far. Oh, yes. Set him up beautifully.
Well, I don't really need to say too much then. Great forehand cross, pulled Sandgren off the court, opened up that down the line, which he executed to perfection.
Break point to get things back on serve in this opening set. Oh. 2:01 second serve. Wide. Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Especially when he's been serving a few at 121.
That's his fastest serve of the match. And it was a second serve ace.
Advantage Thiem.
Well, we'll see what he conjures up here.
Yes.
Thiem furious with himself, really admonishing himself for not taking his opportunities. Great defensive stuff at the net.
Well, he nearly got himself into trouble here by not putting away this smash. Dominic was just a little bit too high over the net then, and it gave Sandgren time to put away that volley.
If only he can just hold on in this game. He gives himself a really good chance of taking the first set then. If he drops his serve, then we're back to square one.
And these boys have had really long rallies here, and these balls will be well worn. We're in the 7th game right now. One before the new balls.
Advantage Thiem.
Well, his balance was all over the shop here. Look how he's in the air as he's trying to play this volley. Look. He's jumping into that volley. Still need, it's great to go out to meet it, but you still need to have that nice balance.
And again on the big point, he comes up with the one he was after. Thiem's having a look at it, but What do you think? I thought it caught the line.
I think it was almost inside the line.
Yeah, you're right. Didn't even
Yes.
catch the line. Didn't need
Thiem has
to.
2 challenges remaining.
Two break points seen off. And there'll be no challenge for that. 198 kilometres an hour. He is
Advantage.
his
Sandgren.
quickest for the match, equal to his quickest on first serve. Of course, his fastest serve of the match was actually a second serve in this game at 2:01. Well, this game is turning into a huge one
Yes.
now.
Sandgren, I've seen him actually at some challenger level tournaments, and at these challenges the conditions aren't amazing. You know, the ball kids aren't as well trained, and perhaps the lines people don't have quite as much experience, and there's a lot going on outside of the court, and he has been known to mentally go wayward at times.
The game's been going over 9 minutes now.
Advantage. Thiem.
Speaking of challenger events, he picked up a couple of challenger events in the United States last year and got into 3 other challenger finals. That was the majority of his $227,000 in prize money, although you don't get huge dollars for those events.
Wow.
That's 4 break points seen off now.
Yes.
This is the tipping point right here.
Oh, 100%. You get the feeling if he can overcome this game, he's almost there for the first set. He surely can't have another tough hold like this if he can get through this one.
Advantage. Sandgren. Fault.
In the context of his hopes of causing an upset in this match, that is a monumental hold. Sandgren now within 1 game of the set in a game that took 10.5 minutes.
Really? It sounded like it was it sounded like it was right behind me.
Family road trips just got a whole lot easier. The 2018 Nissan Rogue. Now with Nissan Intelligent Mobility, featuring technologies like available ProPilot Assist, which helps keep an eye on the road ahead and helps you stay centered while you're turning this lane into memory lane. Take on today and get a low $229 per month lease on Rogue, or get 0% for up to 72 months on 13 models.
Visit your GMC dealer and get something you really want. Get $9,000 total value on a specially equipped brand new 2018 GMC Sierra SLT Crew Cab model when you finance through GM Financial. See your Southern California Buick and GMC dealers.
Thought it would be in favour of the American, but he deserves it. He got the early break in Thiem's first service game. He came up with a terrific hold in that previous game, and now Thiem's got the task of serving to keep it going. Oh, yes. What about that from about 3 metres behind the baseline?
And he's been doing this a lot. He's so deep, but he's been hooking this forehand cross really well so far.
That was faster than the serve, that groundie. And he's doing what you said, John. He's having a little free swing. If he gets a look at it, he's slapping that ball into the forehand corner. And it's paid dividends so far in this game. He's only 2 points away from taking the first set.
$15-13.
"37 minutes it's taken."
15-14.
This man, at the end of 2014, was ranked 648 in the world. At the end of 2015, he was ranked 258 in the world. The man he's playing is ranked 5, and he's got 2 set points. We are looking at a massive upset on Hisense Arena. The 26-year-old American, Tennis Sandgren, takes the first set 6-2 in 37 minutes.
Well, what a start. It's been tough tennis, a lot of extended rallies. But Sandgren's come out the better of the two. Showing his athleticism here. He's been an absolute brick wall, making Dominic Thiem play the extra ball. He's taking his chances on the forehand when he gets them. Taking on the line at the right opportunity. Is set one summary. The Austrian serve letting him down a little bit, only 47% of serves in. Sandgren on the other hand, 68%. Winners done forced errors ratio positive for both, but 14-7 for Sandgren, far superior. Break points 1, well, none from 4 from Dominic Thiem. Yet Sandgren's been clinical. 2 from 2.
And those 4 break points all coming in the 7th game. So he had the opportunity of getting himself back in. But the young man from the United States gritted his teeth and fought really hard.
Second set. Sandgren to serve.
It's so nice winning that last game on Thiem serve so he can start proceedings off again.
15-11.
Really helps you carry on the momentum of that first set.
Dominic Thiem won't be hitting the panic button just yet. The cap's gone now.
And that's what's tricky, isn't it? Because he's hit a couple of those slowish second serves. 127 kilometers an hour is pretty pedestrian, but on that one break point at 4-2, he hit the 201 kilometer boomer out wide.
That was just outrageous.
Sometimes in matches there are these little key defining moments. If Sandgren can get through this match somehow, he'll look back and that will be one of them.
Well, if you wanted a convincing opening service game in the second set, that's what you've got.
First game, second set.
As I said, John, Thiem won't be panicking just yet, but he'll certainly be alarmed by what's gone on.
Oh, 100%. There's no doubt that he wouldn't have expected this resistance. By now he would have worked out and got a good feel for how Sandgren plays. But there haven't really been any chinks, and that's the worrying thing.
Sandgren's winners to unforced errors ratio, well, eminently acceptable from him. He's had twice as many winners as unforced errors, 16-8.
15 months.
Thiem in all likelihood has probably got, as we look at the predictor and how much it's changed, 29% swing in favour of tennis Sandgren. He's probably thinking a couple of things. One of them would be, I'm not sure how long this guy can keep this level up. The other thing, John, that he'd be thinking is, I can't rely on that to happen. I've got to up my ante without worrying about him having a dip.
Oh, yeah, definitely right. The one thing that will hold the Austrian in good stead is he's a competitor. And he fights hard, as we saw when he overcame Dennis Kudla from 2 sets to love down.
And he just got his second quickest serve of the match in on that previous point at 210 kilometres an hour. Well, I guess they're all big points for tennis Sandgren when you play against the number 5 player in the world. But how big's this? Give himself a look at a break early in the second set to replicate exactly what he was able to do in the first. And that allowed him to call the tune throughout the set, gave him a buffer. And Thiem was very much aware of the importance of that moment.
14-15.
To hold. He couldn't afford a repetition of what happened in the first set. We're in the second week of the championships. There's been some hot days, so inevitably you're going to feel it at some stage. Especially on the back of a 2-hour 56 match that he had in his third round. This is Sandgren. 3 of the 4 sets were really tight.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Sorry, Pete. The one positive thing, though, just going back to your point there, is that Sandgren is battle tough. Playing on that challenger circuit, he is getting 3, 4, 5 matches every single week.
Just feel as though he's starting to put the foot down a bit now.
Well, this is great awareness here because Sandgren has been closing out the net hard every time he's come in, and the Austrians realised that. Didn't have to be the best lob to beat him. Smart shot selection.
Oh, yes, his intensity level has certainly lifted.
Well, how good was his feet then? Because Sandgren didn't really do anything wrong here. Off a hard return. This is staying down nice and low, but Thiem is so quick to get around. And that fast racket head speed gets the ball up and down.
Break points 5 and 6 if required in this match, and he's not capitalised on any of them so far. He has now, and that has changed the course of the match to a degree. Thiem gets the first break of the second set, and the number 5 seed leads 2-1.
Just went all the way around to get down.
And I think your point about him playing challenger events and being battle-hardened is a valid one, John. My only caveat on that would be it's not at this level. It's not against these sort of players.
Yeah, and you are 100% right then. It's a different weight of ball. Not many challenger players, in fact, none, have the weight of ball that Dominic Thiem can produce again and again. Yeah, they can hit 1 or 2, but Thiem's ball is heavy, and you can feel that when you play against him. It's constant pounding, and therefore to keep that quality up, it's really something that...
Time.
It's that exposure to that. That's the only way how you can get used to it.
We've seen a change in the dynamic here on Hisense Arena. Dominic Thiem putting the foot down in that third game has established his first break of serve of the match. And now he's in the driver's seat, but he's down by a set, but things look to have changed. And I just sense too that tennis maybe is having that little lull that we talked about. His body language around the court just seems as though perhaps he is going through a bit of a flat spot. We saw it with Pablo Carreño Busta at various times yesterday. He played a lot of tennis because he was involved in the doubles too. He actually played in the doubles match before this one went on court.
And there's Mike Cation. We found him.
In the white cap in the second row.
There he is, fresh off the call. we see Dominic getting a lot more animated now. A few more commands. He knows he's in for a fight. And what you talked about, he seems to have lifted his intensity just that little bit more.
And his opponent is getting more and more frustrated at the other end of the court. Had a bit of a chat to the chair umpire on the change of ends. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, if we get a replay of this, you'll see how quick Sandgren is to get up to this back end. Really positive. Body weight going through the ball. Notices that it drops a little bit short. Really great shot.
And again, he's not waiting. He's going to call the tune if he gets a look at it. And he's got a break back point immediately. To win a point out there. He defended really well. Thiem eventually able to get one past him.
Yeah, that is just a heavy ball. He puts so much spin on it that he's able to, with power, cut sideline.
Oh. That's a dozen unforced errors now for Thiem. He's +3 in the winners to unforced errors category. Gunter Bresnik will be keeping a close eye on those figures as the match unfolds. His opponent's +9 winners to unforced errors. Got the line.
Yeah, I'm with you here. This one looked like we've got the line.
I think tennis thinks it did too.
Yes. Sandgren has 2 challenges remaining. Advantage Thiem.
Well, you have to take your chances when you're playing one of the best players in the world, and Sandgren wasn't able to do that. Had a couple of break points, but Thiem comes up with the hold and leads 3-1.
Just a sign of how physical these rallies have been, though. 6-2, 1-3. We've already played 55 minutes of tennis.
And as you said, that's what surprised you about the times that Sandgren had recorded in his first 3 rounds, because you expected this sort of match. these slugfests, we've had 19 rallies of 9 shots or more. Whoa.
A little bit lucky there. Just clipped the let tape on the way through, shouldn't it?
15 all.
I mean, this is almost unplayable when this happens, that slight deviation. This will be a great view of it. Oh.
Gee, that's a good camera. That's a great shot from the net.
Mr. Thiem is changing the corner on the left-hand sideline. The ball's for him.
We've got a good view of this one, and
what do you think?
No, I think this one's in.
30-15. Team has 2 challenges remaining.
Oh. Well, did he have a play on it? It seemed that way.
30 all.
It's really tricky, this one, because you're not expecting the slice line.
He's hanging in there. Team's got the advantage of the break, and he leads 3-2 in the second.
Team leads 3-2.
I speculated that Sandgren, perhaps John, looked a little flatter. Might have had something to do with the look of the scoreboard as much as anything in those 2 games, but his movement in that game was fine.
No, he really relies off the strength of his movement. He's a strong boy, and he's also very fast. And you have to be when you're adopting those court positions that he tends to do. He stands a fair way back deep. He's been really good, though. I've been very impressed with how quick he is to pounce on the short ball, and it's something that he needed to do going into this match. So I think he's got his tactics spot on.
Well, if you stand at the back of the court and try and hit balls at Dominic Thiem, you're going to get beaten.
Yeah, you can't deviate too far away from your natural game. As soon as you start doing that and you start playing someone's reputation, you're in a little bit of trouble. I do like the fact, though, on those 50-50 balls, should I attack it or should I just work this one? He seems to be taking it on. And I think that's really positive.
Tennis Sandgren's coach, Jim Madrigal, would be pretty happy, as would his support box, but he's got a break to overcome in the second set.
And this is the first time I've seen where Sandgren was a little bit leggy getting out there. Probably didn't need to go for the slide.
15 all.
Those lengthy rallies we were talking about before, most of them have gone the way of the Austrian. There's been 21 rallies of 9 shots or more. Teams won 12 of them. Good pace of shot.
How good has his defence been? End range,
15, 13.
Sandgren is so impressive. Extending rallies. Don't know if Thiem would have expected this. Now, Thiem's gone wide a lot so far in this match on 30 all occasions.
Mr. Thiem is challenging the call on the left service line. The ball is put out. Second service.
I think we can safely say that was out.
That's clay court tennis.
40-13.
Serving
Thiem
for the
has
first
one
ball
challenge
after
remaining.
here. He goes wide to open up the court, then looks to get around and use his forehand.
The winner speed was quicker than the serve that preceded it.
Use.
And he's given away a few of those free points today. That unforced error count rising up now to 14. He's had 3 more than his opponent. And his opponent's had 2 more winners.
Advantage Thiem. Game.
He's maintaining the break despite the pressure coming from his opponent at the other end. 4 games to 2.
Means 4 games to 2.
If he gets a look at a second serve here, John, I want to ask you a question that I'm sure a lot of people who are watching throughout the world are asking, given the speed of Sandgren's second serve. We'll see whether we get a look at it. It's only really one for the highlights reel. It doesn't come off too often.
But when it comes off, it makes the highlights real.
It does. Oh, yes. That is a beautiful thing. When it works, And we haven't seen too much of it in this match, but once you get the first one out of the way, sometimes the second and the third ones follow pretty quickly.
Yeah, look, this does not deviate. That was an absolute laser-guided bullet.
These are effectively 3 set points. If he goes down the double break, that's all she wrote. So here's what I was going to ask you. Look where Thiem is. Behind the baseline, he's moved back. So I'm sure there are people saying, why is he standing so far back when the serve is about 130, 140?
Yeah, you're right. He is an extraordinarily long way back to face that second serve.
Still break point. Oh, that's showing some nerve.
And the reason why he's doing that, he's backing himself in a rally situation there. So he wants to land a heavy blow. So not a winner. It's not going to be a winner from back there. But he wants to land a heavy, above neutral blow. So he wants to flight it up. You've got so much more court to hit into. So you can go a lot higher over the net, which suits his shape of and weight of shot. And he's really setting it up for the next ball after that. So wrong shot selection then. It's like serving the kick serve. You're serving the kick serve not necessarily to get the ace, but to drag your opponent out of position if you hit it well with quality to set up the next ball. And that's what Dominic is trying to do there, but he has dropped a few short. He hasn't got his weight of shot right yet.
So there you go. If you're sitting at home and you're asking that question, there's the answer for you. That's a really good hold. Down love 40. That would have been the set in the book, but it's going to go for a little while longer yet. Team leads 4-3.
The thing is, if you're tennis Sandgren and you see Dominic doing that, adopting such a deep possession on second serve, that opens up a bit more of the court for yourself also. So you can start using your sliders to more effect because he's so far back. There's so much angle to work with there. So consequently, if you take the one early, where are they going to serve? They're going to go in at your body a little bit more, jam you up. You haven't got as much time to react. To be that far deep on return, it's really more of a clay court mentality to be that far deep. It's not unusual for players to vary their position, but that far deep, that's a real clay type return.
It's been a fascinating tactical match in lots of ways. The reason that players are doing things, the mixture of balls that Sandgren has given Thiem, the variation in pace. But the one thing he's given him is everything he's got so far. Thiem, though, with the advantage of the break. Last game of these balls. like a short arm jolt.
And it's such a hard, tough shot to play, this one. And that's why Thiem does not expect it. It leaves him standing still there. So hard, being so strong off that open stance backhand to go down the line.
To 11, so he's equalled his quickest of the match, which came in the 6th game of the first set. Oh, it was perfect. Good enough to get over his head, good enough to fall inside the baseline, and comfortably as it turned out. That's precision. And it brings up a big point late in the second set. And he's come up with another 2-11 serve.
Chanting the call on the left, near sideline. The ball was called out. Sandgren has 1 shot too many. Let's the service.
Not an easy shot to play, but he played it with aplomb, and Thiem's the first to 5. So that means he can have a little swing at the next game.
Thiem leads 5.
Yeah, you're right, Pete. This is a tough shot to play. Sandgren getting that ball just to dip over the net. Shows great feel, great hands. Look how he gets underneath that ball and just cups it. His hands have to be so soft there to land it that short.
So in lots of ways, this is a free game for Dominic Thiem. If he sees anything perhaps in the realm of a second serve, which he won't there, then he might be able to have a pop at it. The 9th ace for Sandgren.
30-11.
Thiem's had 4.
Would be nice for the team to get into one of these rallies just so he gets a feel of the new balls and what it's reacting off the strings.
And can't you just not only see the difference in the way the ball's flying off the strings, but you can hear the difference too with the new balls compared to the heavy ones in that previous 8th game. Thiem would love to get this done in this game for a couple of reasons. One, because it alleviates the pressure of having to serve to close out the set. And it would also give him the advantage of serving first in the third. But that's not something that is going to be happening. The American says to the number 5 seed, you do it yourself. It's 5-4 in the second.
Team leads 5 games to 4.
Here we look at the return of Dominic chipping that ball back. That was hit like a bullet.
It's certainly not as classical as the Thiem backhand, but it's been very effective for him in this match. He's had 7 clean winners off that side.
Oh, definitely. He's very stingy off that side with unforced errors also. He's only had the 4 for the match off that side. 3 of them coming in this set. So in that set that he won, he hit 1 unforced error out of the backhand wing.
What a stadium this has been since its inception, going back many years ago. The early 2000s, it had a different name, but I remember calling the first match here on Hisense Arena, John, and it ended prematurely. I think Monica Seles played in it from memory. And I think it might have been against an American called Bree Ripner, as I delve my mind. I think Bree injured herself that day and couldn't continue against Monica. But it's just creates such a great atmosphere because they call it the People's Court. Everyone with ground passes is able to get into certain parts of this stadium, and it makes for a wonderful atmosphere.
Yeah, especially later in the day when a few beverages have been consumed and crowds can get quite rowdy.
Have you played much out here?
This is one of the few courts I haven't played on, actually.
Right. We'll see what we can do next year. We know people in high places. There's a bit of fizz on that at 204. So the early break of serve coming in the third game of this second set, and Thiem has been able to call the tune for the rest of it to level up the match. Not just yet.
He did so good to extend the point here. An awkward forehand. Thiem has to go up and over the net, which gives Sandgren just enough time to get over there and make a play at the pass.
It takes, and you can see from the reaction of the number 5 seed how important it was for him to take that second set, and the match is level. Thiem takes it in 44 minutes, 6-4. And Tennis is just going to have a little break because he's going to change his shorts. So he'll take as much time as he possibly can. Have a breather as well. He's played really well, but you had the sense all the way through that second set the number 5 seed was just rising a little bit. And the fact that he was able to get the break early, John, meant that he was able to call the tune.
Definitely, but you could see how much it meant to Dominic Thiem to win that set. You see a few of the highlights here. Physical points from both players. A lot of this. A lot of extending rallies and making them play just that extra ball. That one's perhaps a little bit lucky. Clipped the tape on the way through. One of the few occasions Thiem didn't have to play a volley. That was that smooth backhand line. And that's the reaction after he won the second set. Much improved effort on first serve percentage. 78% of serves for Dominic Thiem, 72 for tennis. Both very good numbers. Winners to unforced errors ratio identical at 12 winners and 7 unforced errors. Winning the one break of serve proved to be crucial in that set.
Festive atmosphere in Hisense Arena. This is the last day that this stadium will be used in the Australian Open. It always goes through until the Monday of the second week, but occasionally if there's a big match and if it looks like there's going to be clashes of big matches, they keep it open for one more day. We begin the third set now. Thiem with the ascendancy, but it's taken a while to get it. And there's what you were talking about. He was 4 or 5 metres behind the baseline when he hit that shot.
And you see how high he went over the net then?
Yeah.
And that got it back nice and deep, and it really lifted off the court and caught Sandgren unawares. He's filthy with that unforced error. A real let off.
So the big number change in comparative terms in the second set was the first serve percentage of the number 5 seed, upping it from 47 in the first set to 78 in the second. He's quick.
And notice the movement with both Sandgren and Thiem here. Look at the sliding that happens. Look at this. This is on hard court. Both players are sliding everywhere, and that's because they're both so comfortable on clay. Sandgren's actually one of those Americans that is very adaptable to the clay court tennis, and Thiem grew up on the stuff.
And you can't say that about a lot of American players.
No, obviously they grow up predominantly playing on hard courts. But you can see with their movement how comfortable they are, and that translates on the clay court.
He's up to 10 aces now, Sandgren, as he completes the first game of the third set. So
First game, third set.
in all likelihood, he's going to finish with his best ace tally. He had 12 against Shardy, 11 against Wawrinka, 13 against Matera, in the third round. So it's been an impressive serving display, and I keep on going back to that serve. At 201 kilometre an hour. Second serve on break point in the 7th game of the first set. That was remarkable.
And it's still his fastest serve of the match.
Yeah.
Thiem.
That's the beauty of the one-handed backhand.
30-11.
When you've got a good one, it opens up so much more of the court. So much easier to cut that sideline with topspin. You know what I love about this? You know what I love about someone like a tennis Sandgren getting to the 4th round of an Australian Open and putting on an incredible display of tennis today against one of the best players in the world. Here's a player who's had to develop his game through college tennis. He's then had to develop his game on the future circuit and the challenger circuit. He's slowly climbed up the ranks, and he's just proving to a lot of people out there the depth that is there in men's tennis right now.
It backs up what we've said for a number of years now, and that is that on any given day, any player in the top 100 can take on a player in the top 10 and trouble him.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the more that people see this and see these types of performances, the more they realize just how strong a position our sport is in.
And bear in mind too, we're watching a man at the other end, Tennis Sandgren, who is playing in his 3rd Grand Slam event. Before coming here to Melbourne, he'd never won a main draw Grand Slam event. He tried to qualify 13 times and had never been able to do it. It's hard to imagine that on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I liken it to a tradesman doing his apprenticeship. He's had to toil a lot on the lower tiers and bit by bit improve his game. And now he's competing on the big stage and competing well.
15-0.
Sandgren's camp.
30-15.
Remember, it was this game, the third game of the second set, where the break happened, and that set the tone. And from looking in a pretty comfortable position in this third game, the Americans now got some issues. And he came up with a good serve. That had some heat on it. It looked an easy service delivery, but it was 196. And Thiem perhaps a little surprised by the pace that the ball hit him at. Floats it over the baseline. There's that angle that John Millman was talking about with the one-handed backhand, able to cut the sideline.
Yes.
Yeah, it just opens up so much more of the court here as he gets around the outside edge of that ball. Pace, spin, cutting the sideline.
Correction was good.
So that'll be an ace because Thiem was nowhere near it. Remember earlier in the match we talked about the importance of one particular game where it can tip one way or the other. You get the feeling this is one of those games too.
Oh, most definitely. Especially after being up in the service game. He was so close to closing this one out and getting to the change of ends. Key for tennis is that he's been landing first serves on that due side, making his job a little bit easier.
That's good heat, and that's a good hold. Taken deep to deuce. Sandgren comes up with another important hold, and we're on serve early in the third.
2 games to 1.
I'd probably injure myself if I tried to hit that one.
I think a few were worried about that. Not surprisingly, the predictor still heavily in favour of Thiem, but not nearly as much as it was at the start of the match, which is interesting, given the fact that it's a set all. Day 8 at the Australian Open Championships of 2018. Peter Donegan and John Millman in the commentary box, enjoying what has been an intriguing match so far. A match where Dominic Thiem was naturally enough highly fancied. He's had some work to do. Tennis Sandgren, the 26-year-old from the United States, playing in just his 3rd Grand Slam, his best ever Grand Slam result right here.
Love the key.
And if Sandgren is able to get through to the last 8, it'll be a real achievement in Australian Open history. Nicolas Escudé of France did it 20 years ago. The only man to do it since then in the last 20 years has been Alexander Dolgopolov on debut at the Australian Open. And that's what Sandgren is looking to do.
Thiem very frustrated with himself. Didn't quite attack that lob. Ended up being an easy put away for Sandgren.
Well, just when it looked as though he might have been back in the driver's seat again, he's put himself in a position of vulnerability with a double fault. 2 opportunities for the American to get the first break of the 3rd set. As the great players do on the big points, they bear down.
Well, he played some pretty ordinary tennis to get himself in this position, but this was extraordinary. He's hit that drop volley from just inside the service box. That's incredibly hard to do.
Thiem drops his head and says, what was I doing at that moment? And the first break goes the way of tennis Sandgren in the third set.
Well, this shot selection was very poor.
That's a brain snap.
It really is. And he knew that he was in the wrong position, so he tried to overcompensate and put even more spin on it. As a consequence, it landed in front of his toe.
Love you, team. Rush was good. 15-on.
Quick overrule from Mariana Veljevic in the chair. He's giving him some of his own medicine with that wide slider in the deuce court.
Yeah, and that's what broke Thiem. He did not land a first serve. Hardly at all in that last game. Sandgren's come out. And at all three.
That's yours.
Defence from both players was exceptional there, and then the attack from Thiem pays dividends. 18-shot rally.
30-14.
Always the best time to break back is immediately.
Mr. Thiem is challenging the ball on the right service line. The ball's on in.
We did it very quickly, but it is one of those ones where it might be a little insurance because we knew that the return wasn't going to go in.
Yes.
A little insurance policy, I think,
Team
there from Dominic.
2 challenges remaining.
And he's none too pleased.
A little cheap then. No, it's tough because these extended rallies aren't easy to engage in time and time again, but can't afford to be missing that one.
Sandgren all over the net saying, all right, if you're good enough to come up with the pass,
Yes.
good luck to you.
Yeah, he did well to get out of the way of that first one. Thiem had rifled it at Sandgren's body. One of the more underrated returns in tennis. Hard one up the middle of the court. Server has to be so quick to react and create room.
Third time lucky, perhaps. This time he gets a look at a second ball.
Wow. That's pretty cool, man. Well done.
Again, the significance of the moment not lost on Dominic Thiem or the crowd at Hisense Arena. The breakback comes and we're back on serve.
Clapping right before I hit a second serve. That's in the box. I'm here. I'm right here to serve. That's ridiculous. In a player's box. That's. When I say someone in the crowd's making noise, you say, well, I don't know. When somebody's doing it directly to inhibit me, well, I don't know. Good luck. It's pretty cool. There's one person clapping in a sea of 2,000 people. You have no idea where it came from.
Well, I didn't look
Wow.
that way, to be honest.
That's a great explanation.
Sandgren leads 3-2.
His frustration is understandable, and he thinks that it's coming from the
He gets
players'
away with that
box.
with nothing. The coach, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, it's a stinging accusation to make.
Yeah, you haven't said anything. Somebody's done something and you've not stopped them from doing it again. That's what I'm saying. There was no repercussions for doing it on break point, second serve, no repercussions. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Why would he not do it again? Why would he not? He got away with it. No repercussions.
I think Mariana's argument is she wasn't aware of it. So if you're not aware of it, it's difficult to do something about it. And if he's sure that it's happening, you can understand his side of the argument too.
Yeah, 100%. It's extremely tricky, that one. Sandgren's been playing great tennis. He has been known to at times get slightly distracted with external conditions. Now,
Ladies and gentlemen, as
I'm
a
not
courtesy
saying that
to
it
both
didn't
players,
happen.
please stay quiet in between the first and second serve. Thank you.
Some players, John, are better when they blow off a bit of steam.
15 left.
And maybe that will do him the world of good, just having a little volcanic explosion. And he might settle down now. With other players, it takes their focus off what they're doing.
yeah, you're right, Peter, and it'll be interesting to see which way this one goes, because we've all seen it happen both times in both cases.
40-11.
Another 2-11. He's rolled a few down at 2-11. He's actually got one out to 2-12, which has been his quickest.
And the fault he missed was 217.
Quickest of the tournament has been 221.
Game.
And that had a bit of hum on it at 213. So that's his quickest of the match right there. And he gets through the sixth game in double quick time and levels up.
Fault.
My calculations might be wrong, but this could be the last game before the Newies.
It is. You've been right with everything else. You haven't missed a line call in 2 days.
15-11.
Make a very good linesman, if only you could take the $1 million pay cut.
Oh, they have a tough job, the lines people.
Yes, they do.
I've probably roused on a few too many to be welcomed into that community.
Just wide.
30-11.
Well, it was going in the whole way, and it just seemed to deviate at the last second then. It's a little sign of some heavy feet then.
Just been a couple of instances in the last few games where he's given him one cheap point per game. Well, they tried to break the cover off that thing for the last 10 shots of that rally. Sandgren still there. On serve, 4-3, third set. It was a 29-shot rally.
Leads 4-3.
And there was that few strokes of just off-pace deliveries and slicing, and then they got into a war.
And Dominic Thiem, they've both run nearly 100 metres in that point, but Dominic Thiem is starting to get a little bit vocal in the direction of his box. He's perhaps disappointed with his play, but I think he's more surprised at the level that Sandgren's been bringing to this encounter and continuing to bring.
Gunter Bresnik, in a world of his own there, wasn't even distracted when the guy walked past him with the chicken and chips, which you would normally get a bit distracted at 7:05. And he knows he's got, if you'll pardon the pun, bigger fish to fry right now. Sandgren stands toe-to-toe with Thiem at the end of that 7th game. New balls are out here. Thiem will have the advantage of serving with them to attempt to level it up again. He's known from the word go, though, when he was broken in his very first service game, that he's had a fight on his hands, and so it continues on Hisense Arena.
Let's for service.
Plucks that one out of the air on a must-win point.
15 on.
Awaiting the winner of this match is the winner of the battle, which is just about to begin on Rod Laver Arena. Novak Djokovic, the number 14 seed, against Hyun Chung of Korea.
Yeah, and on that match on centre court, we can expect some long rallies there also. We all know Djokovic's ability to extend points. Well, Chung is the Great Wall of Korea.
Here we go again.
And to state the obvious,
30-14.
this is a massive point in this match. This will be the most important point that we've had so far.
Might be just about the most important point that this man has ever had in his career. Right now. The crowd loving the tension of the moment and the fight that both players are applying.
Well, how about that first get from Sandgren? Put the ball in such an awkward position, but then the composure of Dominic Thiem to pull off that one. It was really the only shot that he could play. Unbelievable.
Advantage team.
And here's why the good players are the good players, or the great players, because they play the break points against them well, and they play the deuce points that follow them well. And invariably, they find a way to get out of it. That is a very big hold of serve by the number 5 seed.
4 games all.
You would have been staring down the barrel of 2 sets to 1 down. And now it's still a flip of the coin. 1 set each, 4 games each.
$15.
That's a dozen aces now, and make that 13 in fact. Half a dozen more than his opponent.
Thank you. Game 7.
And he gets a breather after a few difficult games. A love game for Sandgren, and he's the first one to 5 in the 3rd set.
All person, all kid.
He's trying to attract the attention of one of the ball kids.
He's looking pretty relaxed though, isn't he?
Yeah. Just a nice moment there, thanking the ball kid for the drink. It's a big moment for him. He's got a lot on his mind at the moment, but he still had the time to say, thanks, buddy. We're coming down to the wire in set 3. A break of serve apiece. Successive breaks in the 4th and 5th games. So we are on serve. The team now faced with the pressure of serving to keep this set going at 4-5.
$15. $13.
Well, he's been
14.
targeting that Sandgren forehand, especially on first court on serve. Slightly more complicated swing. A little bit trickier for him to time the return.
Game team.
Well, if you think it's tight at a set all and 5 games all, you'd be right, because that was the 190th point of the match, and they have won 95 each. It's had that feeling to it. Both players trading love games on their serve. They don't come any tighter than that.
With Dominic standing so far back to return, then he's always vulnerable to that wide serve if it hits the mark. He was sliding nearly off the court to try to return that one.
He did a good job to keep his balance there, because it looked as though he might tumble at one stage. He got his feet into a plat.
30-11.
And Sandgren does well on this one. Has to make a decision quickly if he's going to hit the volley or let it bounce. If you can execute that play, there's no chance that Dominic Thiem can come back and make that ball. He's so far off the court because of his court position on return. Easier said than done to redirect line.
Let's for service.
Crowds just love this performance from the American. I dare say most of them who've come in here had barely ever heard of this man before they walked into Hisense Arena tonight, but they've been full of admiration for the courage that he's shown and the skill that he's displayed as well. Sandgren's done his job. He's the first to 6. And now the only way the team can take it off him is a tie break. 6-5.
Sandgren leads 6 games to 5.
And if it goes to a breaker, he should be reasonably confident. We'll tell you a little bit more about his record in a moment. Obviously, having not played a lot of matches at tour level. But we'll take you through those numbers in a sec. And it might give him cause for optimism, Tennis Sandgren.
Well, this third set is taking on mammoth proportions. The match time already 2 hours and 11 minutes. When you've been watching, you've been seeing the slugfest. It's been so physical. Both players covering all areas of the court.
Time.
Be a massive mental blow to win this third one.
Team Sandgren, headed by the man on the left of your picture, Jim Madrigal, his coach, can hardly bear to look. Will it be a breaker? Well, if tennis gets there, he might be optimistic about it. Not many players can boast a perfect tiebreak record, but at the moment, Tennis Sandgren can. He's only ever played 4. He's won all 4 of them. 2 of them in these championships. Team's record is just in positive territory in breakers, but we've got to get there first.
Let's for service.
Gets another one in at 2:13.
14.
Equal to his quickest of the match. Skates out to a 40-love lead.
Well, Dominic has a laugh then because that thing hit the net tape and turned at a right angle. That is nearly not even touching the net. He's hit that one late. A little bit fortunate.
The only time he can afford a laugh is when that's at 40 love. Imagine if that happened to you at deuce.
Yay, team.
And his fastest serve of the match at 215 kilometres an hour brings up the breaker.
6 games all tiebreak.
Team's played
1 additional tie.
132 tie breaks in his career, and he's won 68 of them, so 68 and 64 just in positive territory. Tennis Sandgren at tour level has played 4 tie breaks and won 100% of them. If you're looking for reasons why either player might win the tie-break, here are a couple of numbers. Sandgren's first serve percentage in this set has been 74%, really high. Thiem, in contrast, not nearly as high, but when the first serve has gone in, he's won 80% of those points. You can make a case for both.
1-1.
Yeah, it looks like it could come down to who blinks first. Who can get off to the fast start?
Would you agree, John, that given Sandgren's ranking, given his lack of experience at playing even 5 sets, but the potential for playing 5 sets, that the tiebreak is way more important for him than Thiem?
Look, I think it's marginally more important for sure. I think it's tough just to win 2 sets in a row against someone like Dominic Thiem. He's a very classy player and he's a tough player. Team's feeling the tension here.
2-all.
A little more animated. He's frustrated. Can't put this American away.
Sandgren.
He's actually caught him out a few times, has Tennys Sandgren, in this tiebreaker by using that backhand line to great effect. It's won him 2 points in this tiebreaker. Catching the Austrian out by surprise.
We've edged a little bit closer to potentially one of the biggest upsets so far in the Open of 2018. A lot of water to go under the bridge before we can say that. But the potential is there. That was a must-hold point from Thiem.
Sandgren. Sandgren.
Yeah, changes his position on return there. Goes to take that one early. Just losing his timing on the return.
Light for service.
The team was almost outside the sponsors' boards when he had to return that serve.
6-3, Sandgren.
What a performance it's been by the 26-year-old. Now 3 opportunities to take a 2-1 lead over one of the best players in the world. There's a huge upset brewing out on Hisense. After 2 hours and 22 minutes, Sandgren has a 2-1 lead over the number 5 player in the world.
Well, an upset is brewing here at Hisense. So much court coverage from both players the entirety of this set. Sandgren, though, that was more clinical in that tiebreaker. He served a little bit better, I felt, than Dominic. And in tennis, it's small margins. And it was the one area where in this evenly contested match, he was slightly better, as you can tell. First serve percentage there for Tennys Sandgren, 74%. The Austrian only serving at 59% for that set. Winners to unforced errors ratio, again, it's an even split. Sandgren just having the one more winner. They both had the 3 breakpoint opportunities, converting 1 each. Hard split, but came down to that first serve percentage, especially in that tiebreaker. Sandgren will be loving the song reverberating around Hisense Arena. Bit of Sweet Caroline.
Never anything wrong with a little bit of Neil Diamond. As one diamond echoes around the stadium, Tennys Sandgren produces a gem of a performance so far. The performance of his tennis life.
4th set. Thiem to serve.
Dominic Thiem maybe not hitting the panic button just yet, but it might be a good idea for him to know where it is. Tough overhead. Hadn't quite got himself set, but was still good enough to come up with the shot that would eventually reward him with the point. A stress-free entry into the 4th set then for the Austrian.
First game, 4th set.
We've discussed the significance that this match is for Tennys Sandgren. Obviously, we've got a big check at the end of the tournament, but also his ranking points. He entered this tournament at 97 in the world, and if he wins today, he will jump up to 55 in the world. Now that starts getting you into ATP tournaments every single week, and not just the little ATP tournaments. We're talking Masters events, Indian Wells, Miami. This is a massive moment in his career.
Second service.
We saw the predictors changed its mind quite dramatically. A 53% swing in the predictions now.
15 up. $30.15. $40.15.
42 winners to 39 in favour of the American. He's made less unforced errors as well.
Game. Sandgren.
He's having one of those nights. Perhaps it's going to be a night that he'll never forget.
One game on.
Everything going his way at the moment. This backhand just clips it.
In Grand Slam play, Thiem has only ever lost to two players ranked worse than Sandgren. One of them was at Wimbledon in 2014. He lost to Australia's Luke Saville, who was ranked 236 at the time. And that's in. The other one was a bit misleading because it was against one Martin Del Potro in the round of 6 at the US Open about less than 2 years ago, and Del Potro was ranked 142, which was a misleading ranking for a player of his calibre at the time. He actually lost to Del Potro when he retired, had a knee injury and had to retire in the second set. Three reasonably comfortable holds of serve to begin the fourth set.
New balls,
and the number 5 seed leads 2-1.
Thiem leads 2 games to 1.
Yeah, this is the other one they have there. Same, yeah.
Time.
rackets are back from or going to the stringers.
Let's for service. Let's for service. Let's.
He's going for the world record, I think.
Well, if you serve 3 lets in a row, that's beers for everyone. It's his shout at the bar tonight.
Including us?
Including us.
You beauty.
And if he wins this, it'll definitely be his shout.
15
Oh, yeah. Because he'll be guaranteed 440,000 Australian dollars. And we'll put that into context for you in a moment. We're talking US dollars for his career earnings, 488,000. Last year, for the entire year, he earned 227,000 US.
40
And
left.
if he wins here, guaranteed 440,000 Australian dollars. Even if he loses, he's still guaranteed 240.
Yay,
And everybody is sailing through their service games at the start of the 4th set. Both players have only dropped 1 point on serve so far in 2 service games. Steeling themselves for the fight, perhaps. Naturally enough, Dominic Thiem needs to go to 5 sets to get this done. If he goes to 5, he's got a 50% record, 50% win record. He's 4-4 in 5-set matches. Tennis Sandgren, he might be the best 5-set player we've ever seen. We don't know. He's never been there.
It's really good from the Austrian there, using his forehand, trying to get as many forehands as he can, where he can pull the strings. He's just telling himself he didn't stay down on that ball. He got the mid-court ball he wanted, but he had a bit of a look before he hits it. Look. Gets up at contact. That lifts your head, and therefore you don't watch the ball hit the strings close enough.
14.
And with half a look, it only lasted briefly for Sandgren, with a brilliant serve hitting his spot at 167. That's his go-to serve in that court. Something of a test in comparative terms, but still only giving up the 2 points in his service game, and we stay on serve at the start of this 4th set. not only has this man maintained his play, his level of play, he's maintained his concentration for the most part. He's had a couple of discussions, one a pretty animated one with Mariana Veljovic in the chair about what he perceived to be some noise coming from Dominic Thiem's support box. But once he had the blow up, he put it behind him very quickly, didn't let it linger, and he was able to push it to the back of his mind and then carry on.
Yeah, tough to let it linger when you're playing as well as he is, and he's kept up a great level this entire match, and I feel like he is getting into more of Dominic's service games than vice versa, which will hold him in very good stead for the remainder of this set and hopefully the match for him.
We said comfortable holds of serve in the first 4 games, but then Thiem had a couple of points taken off him in the previous game. There's Tennis Sandgren's support staff. Still looking on. Confident. But anxious. No question about that. He's out-hit Thiem. When they get into the big hitting rallies, most of the time, he's been able to come up with the goods. That one, 23 shots.
Yeah, I think what's frustrating Thiem is when he's landing his forehand, he's not used to it coming back with such vigor. And he started to hit that second serve very well. We saw it in a very crucial point in the tiebreaker. And we're seeing it again now because of the position that Dominic's adopted on the return of serve. On that second serve, he's so susceptible to that wide one. If Tennis is hitting his spot, which he is.
So what's been impressive then is not only is he executing really well, but he's thinking his way through the match. Tactically, he's been really sound when you consider the golf in their rankings. Well, in terms of what we've seen on serve in this 4th set, this is half a chance for Thiem. And it turns out to be only half a chance. Who's going to blink?
3 games on.
And that was only Dominic's first serve he's missed in this 4th set so far. So he's tried to address that issue because we saw That number was well down in the third set.
How about those hands?
Unbelievable. And we just saw a shot of Dominic's box with Kristina Mladenovic, who's just finished a doubles match looking on. She'd be a little bit worried that her partner in crime, Dominic Thiem, is not getting the job done.
14.
He might yet. Just a little casual for tennis, just for once in the match. We stay on serve. Thiem 4-3 up in the fourth. And you mentioned Kristina in the box, John. She's had a tough start to the year. It's been very difficult for her to get a W in the column at any stage.
She's had a tough end to the year too. Yeah. It's been a really rough patch for a good 6 months, really. Managed to maintain her ranking because of how well she did at the start of the 2017 season. So the pressure's on with tennis, because once you get your point, you have 1 year before that drops off. You always have to be on it. You always have to be trying to get results. You don't want to get into that position where you haven't really got any results and you feel the pressure, the weight on the shoulders. Oh, I have to get so many points now, otherwise my ranking will drop.
Time for a selfie, time for a bit of dinner for the crowd, but we're at the business end of this fourth set for the number 5 player in the world and the number 97 player in the world. And we're still none the wiser about the way this one's going to go. But Sandgren just having the pressure of having to catch up, serving second, knowing that one slip could be very costly. To counter that, of course, he's got 2 sets on the board and his opponent's only got 1.
That was just the second point Sandgren's lost when he's landed a first serve in this fourth set. Testament to how well he's been landing that first one. $190. 16 aces goes to 17 now. He's got Thiem by 2 in that regard. What about the work on that ball? Yeah, wow.
It was like a banana.
He spun this so much it bounced sideways here. You can see with his follow through how sharp an angle he created then.
So this becomes a very big point in the scheme of things.
Just been those key points here and there that Dominic quite hasn't executed as well as what we have expected.
Still nobody blinks in the fourth set.
4 games old.
Yet another one up over the 200 kilometre an hour mark, clearly. After that too, we've seen him quite animated on some of the big points.
Oh, definitely. And he's got reason to be, because this is absolutely crucial now.
GBT.
$128 points apiece. It continues to be as tight as it can possibly be. And once more, the server relatively untroubled. But Thiem's got to the first goal. He's the first to 5.
Thiem leads 5 games to 4.
And we often talk about it, John Millman, if you are the first to 5, then you've got the opportunity in this next game of just swinging from the hip if you get the chance to do it. There's nothing to lose in this game. If your opponent goes to 5, all well and good. But if you can just loosen the arms up a bit and have a bit of a fly at it, well, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, and that key little phrase you use then is if you get the chance to do it. At the moment, Sandgren's been serving incredibly well for the duration of this match. Percentages well up there. It's an 81% win rate on when that first serve's landed in this set. He's really been hitting his spots well. So impressive. I think Dominic Thiem here now really needs to use his box in this game. A little bit of a lift, some positive energy there.
Kristina Miladinovic in Dominic Thiem's box, hoping, and so is his coach, Gunter Bresnik. And the crowd realising the importance of this moment too.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been a brave performance by the American. He stood up to all of the pressure that's been thrown at him. his defensive work been today?
Oh, he's covered the meters,
15
coming out on top. I thought Thiem earlier in that rally was slightly tentative on a forehand inside in there.
Let's for service.
And the ball's just got quicker by 10 kilometres an hour with every shot there.
30-11. Let's for service.
Another easy service game for Sandgren. And we're locked up at 5 apiece.
5 games over.
Well, I really like the American to win this one. I don't want to put the curse on him, but I really like what I'm seeing here. He's been getting the upper hand in some baseline exchanges. He's serving incredibly well, and he's been so composed.
Very important first point of this game for Thiem. We often refer to the additional pressure that is there when you're serving to close out a set or a match. Well, if there's any comparative pressure, maybe this game is it. Because if he slips up here, he might be out of the Australian Open.
And he just had full commitment to that shot there. Obviously had the mentality before that serve even came that he was going to take it head on. %82% of first serves into play for the Austrian in this set. Yeah, in this game, he's definitely changed his mindset on the return of serve.
14-13.
Trying to apply the pressure on Dominic Thiem. making those returns well inside the baseline there.
Thiem lifts it up a notch. He was the first to 5 not long ago, and now he's the first to 6 in the fourth set.
Team leads 6 games to 5. Time.
The glare of the security guard, the intense glare, is probably matched by the other 2 men out there on the court at the moment. Neither has been really troubled on serve in this fourth set, which has been going 37 minutes. Pressure on the arm now of tennis Sandgren. And it's a pressure that he has stood up to extraordinarily well,
15 love.
not only in this fourth set, but in the 3 hours of this match. It's only right that this should be a breakup. The server comfortable enough all the way through this set.
Both players receive 1 additional challenge.
Now just spare a thought for the 26-year-old from America. The next few minutes of his life could change his tennis life. If he can capture this tiebreak, it is going to mean so much, not only in the immediate sense, but in the future.
And what cost Dominic Thiem in that third set tiebreaker was he blinked first. Sandgren got the mini break and didn't let it back. The way this match is going, you think it's going to come down to maybe Maybe just one of those mini break opportunities. And if you didn't know he was in the zone, that point just shows that that return was met flat through the court. Hit that inside in with such conviction.
Might be the one that breaks the deadlock.
The team here is having to absolutely play red line tennis. He's starting to flatten out his shots more, searching for answers to get past Sandgren. Is it sustainable though? Just got his trajectory wrong there. When you're that far back on return, you need to be giving it plenty of net clearance.
Just a little drop in intensity on those 2 points from Sandgren. And Thiem consolidates the mini break.
And as hard as it is to trick your mind, but it is just a mini break. Take care of these 2 points right now.
How's that for courage on the big moment?
Massive backhand here. Team did well. Get out of the way of that body serve. Great step into the court.
And Thiem just looks at him and says, well, that was just too good. He could have drawn a foot square box in the corner of the court there and he would have hit it. And as John Millman said, it might come down to these 2 points. So one of them has been looked after. But this one, for the American, needs to go the same way. He's held his part of the bargain. It's still going to be tough. But he's hanging in there.
4-3, Thiem.
It's a great approach here. He's so quick to come forward and close the net. And in doing so, has the easy put-away volley.
Wide. Oh boy. The tension level in this place has just gone up a notch.
Oh, well, he made Thiem play that tough volley, didn't he? been incredible from both players. They've made them play those extremely hard volleys below net height more often than not.
Two holes here, and he'll have a match point. There's one. They're on their feet at high sense, and you can understand why.
6-5. Sandgren.
At 26 years of age, 13 times he's tried to qualify for Grand Slam tournaments and been denied. Now he's on the verge of the quarterfinals.
Please.
Magnificent. How about that on match point?
Just watch this.
6-all.
It's one of the most beautiful shots in the game, and for Dominic Thiem, it's rarely been more beautiful than that.
That was all or nothing. When he addressed that ball, that was all or nothing, and he knew it. This will either be a winner or I'll be shaking hands and congratulating Sandgren. That was an incredible shot.
So one way or the other from here, we're on the edge of the cliff. It's either going to be set point or match point after this. A set point it will be.
7-6, Thiem.
But it'll be on the Sandgren serve. Gunter Bresnik's facade has not really changed throughout the course of this match. It rarely does. He's been there. He's seen it all before. Sandgren lived to regret the choice he made in the middle of that point. He could have hit the overhead and instead just put the ball back into play.
8-7, Thiem. Thank you. Well, please.
Sets it will be.
78%.
Tennis Sandgren is about to sail into uncharted waters. He's never been to 5. We're locked up at 2 sets all after 3 hours and 14 minutes on high sense.
Well, you have to feel for Tennis Sandgren then, because on that match point that he had when they got into that extended rally, he did nothing wrong. He played a tough point. We're going to have a look at the second set highlights. Let's just watch a replay of that tiebreaker, because that was full of so much quality. This match has had everything. It's had physicality, it's had passing shots, it's had put away volleys. It's been so exciting out here on Hisense Arena as these two players go toe-to-toe in an absolute slugfest. In that third set tiebreaker, Tennis Sandgren hit 2 defining backhand down the lines. Dominic replied of his own in the 4th set. First set, set 4 summary, first serve percentage high from both players, 79% for Sandgren. It has been so high the entire match, 72 for Dominic Thiem. Winners to unforced errors. How stingy was Sandgren? Only 4 unforced errors to 11 winners. Dominic Thiem, a few more unforced errors at 13, but the 19 winners, no break points for either player in that 4th set. It was fought tooth and nail.
And now we've got one player back on court because both have decided to have a little comfort break away. John, what did you make of the choice that Sandgren made deep in that tiebreak where he had the opportunity to hit the overhead and he just put the ball back into play with Thiem very deep in the court?
Yeah, it's such a tough one because Thiem did well to give it enough height, and therefore it got back quite deep. That's probably where he could have let it bounce and then gone for the smash. But, oh, it's so tough. In that situation, I don't know, it was such a high quality tiebreak then, and really, I don't think Sandgren did much wrong. It was just the brilliance of Thiem at the end there. Those 2 one-handed backhand down the lines. He's missed a few in this match, but what a time to make those 2.
And at the end of the set, as we saw, it was 77 points in the set, and it was 39 points to 38. The team won 1 more, and that was enough to give him the 4th set. So he goes to the 5th with a 4-4 record in 5-set matches, and his opponent has never been there. So we don't know. As we said, he might be a very good 5-set player. He's about to find out.
And haven't the people that have stayed around, haven't they been treated to such a spectacle tonight?
Well, Sandgren for the match has had 20 more winners than unforced errors. Thiem has had 14 more winners than unforced errors, and that's always the measure that we use, the ratio between those two, to talk about the quality of the match. And the added element here, as Tennis Sandgren makes his way back onto the court, is the fairy tale, the romance of what might happen here. And it's still a possibility for this man.
The match has lasted 3 hours and 18 minutes so far. There have been 47 shots, rallies I should say, that have had more than 9 shots in them. 47 rallies. Now, I would have to say that that would be close to a tournament high in this year's edition. That is an incredible number across 4 sets of tennis.
Final set. Sandgren to serve.
So then, Tennis Sandgren arrives at a place that he's never been before. The 5th set in a Grand Slam match.
15 love.
And that's not such a bad way to start your first ever 5th set.
Correction is good. Sandgren is judging the call on the right baseline. The ball's gone in.
Well, Sandgren's quite confident that this one was long.
And you'd need to be too, because it's the second point of the set. You don't want to leave yourself wanting.
Replay the point. 15 love.
What's your gut feel now, John? Given that the momentum is only marginally on the side of Dominic Thiem, what's your feel about this 5th?
Oh, it's such a tricky one because the level has been so good. I think that if Sandgren can get off to a good start here, and by good start I'm not necessarily mean break, but just overcome the adversity of that 4th set.
14.
I think he's in with more than a chance. In fact, I am going to slightly favour him. I'm a romantic guy, and this has been one hell of a story.
Yes.
Careful now. After looking comfortable in the opening service game.
Yeah, he just snatched at that one a little bit. Both players have done such a good job of shrinking the court. Just went for a little bit too much.
Great response on deuce to come up with a 188 serve, which was almost unreturnable. Just a little bit of nonchalance about him at times.
Yes.
And now is not the time for that.
No, we've seen Thiem get into games, but it's been this point here, this ad point that he's been struggling to get.
And more often than not,
Advantage.
it's been that serve that's made it difficult for him.
Yeah, Sandgren serving this match has been unbelievable. 74% of first serves for the match. That is such a high number.
And it's It's a level he's maintained all the way through the championships. His first serve percentage in the first 3 rounds, 78, 71, 76, and he holds it up at 74 tonight. Big hold. Am I seeing right?
Oh,
that can't be right. So the predictor says,
in a 2-horse race,
that Thiem Sandgren, who has been absolutely magnificent for 3.5 hours, has no chance of winning.
Yeah, throw that out the window.
Thiem. 15-all.
Made the decision early here to follow this one in. Covers the cross.
Third safety. Fourth safety.
Thiem having covered 300 metres more in the match so far than his opponent, approaching the 5 kilometre mark. And a gentle opening service game of the 5th set for Dominic Thiem.
1 game on.
Might see if we can find some alternative employment for the predictor if Thiem Sandgren does happen to win here. And he might, you know, if he keeps on coming up with shots like that, because he's been doing it all match.
15-all.
Yeah, this approach doesn't have much on it here. It's up the middle of the court there. Didn't have the desired effect of dragging Sandgren off the court. In the end, he could pick his way. And Thiem was a sitting duck.
15-all.
Only his 4th of the match. Thiem's had 3 double faults. To counter that, both have been prolific in the ace department. There's only one between them there. Sandgren 18, Thiem 17.
Third safety.
turned the level up a notch.
Yeah, look at this shot. Goes into the side where Sandgren predicted it was going, but when you can follow it up with those deft hands, it's no problem.
Now, an early moment. Thiem looks as though he's lifted his intensity. It's reflected, for the moment anyway, on the scoreboard. Can he take advantage of the first opportunity of the deciding set? And he's filthy with himself.
Yes.
Oh, look how frustrated he is. He knows that he hasn't had too many opportunities like that one because Sandgren has done such a good job of landing that first serve in high pressure situations.
A little opportunity for Thiem is withstood. Sandgren leads 2-1 in the deciding set.
Take your seats quickly, please. Thank you. Time.
It's been gripping, absorbing, watchable, dramatic, all of the things that make top-level sport just about the best reality television there is. It's good to have you with us right around the world from the Australian Open.
Lights for service.
Doing it all night.
Yeah, it's so important to use that backhand down the line just to keep Dominic Thiem honest here. Thiem's camping in that backhand corner so he can hit as many forehands as possible.
13-15.
There's only one certainty about this fifth set, and that is that it won't have the same result as the third set or the fourth set. Won't be a tie-break. They play to advantage here at the Australian Open. If you're not sure about that. So we could be here for a while.
14-15.
Hopefully for the players and our sake up here, and not a repeat of the Isner Mahou at Wimbledon.
70-68.
Yeah, that's brilliant there. That backhand had stinging pace on it. Look at this. So strong off that left leg. Followed up by a well-executed inside-in forehand.
Oops.
And he took this one too casually. He's very accomplished around the net, his team, especially with that put-away volley, but that's a great response though, isn't it?
Both of these players have played the pressure points so well tonight. That's the reason we're in a fifth set.
Well, he got himself into so much trouble because of that volley before, but this is total commitment. Throws the racket at it.
Well, you've got to love the attitude of someone who just says, okay, I'm on the big stage, I'm just going to go for it.
And he couldn't have hit that one any better.
Advantage team.
Sandgren unable to capitalise on half a chance.
2 games over.
So they're locked up in that race. 18 each in the ace department. Thiem presenting some very positive body language, up there bouncing, almost as if to say to his opponent, well, I know what it's like to play 5. I've been there and I've done it. And his opponent saying, well, I'll just keep on cracking the winners past you in that case.
15 up.
And the relief of an easy service game like this is so significant.
In particular when you're serving first in the set. So the pendulum swings again towards Dominic Thiem and the pressure that he's going to face. It's 3-2 Sandgren in the fifth. That is energy saver mode applied right there with a love game. Briefly, you're happy that we play to advantage in the fifth set with the Australian Open rather than a tie-break?
Yeah, I do like that. I think it's a pretty cruel way to finish proceedings after 5 sets in a tiebreaker. Can be brutal at times.
Even the man on the moon should be watching this one because this is a beauty. Living on a prayer. Well, maybe there's a bit of praying going on in the respective support boxes of these two players, but they're just out there doing what they do, and they've done it brilliantly for almost 3 3/4 hours. And Sandgren's reaction there was almost as if he's missed a match point. Thiem's had a fair bit of this pressure tonight because Sandgren has served first in 3 of the 5 sets. In fact, in 4 of the 5 sets.
How good is that? I can't tell you under this much pressure how hard this is to hit. And Sandgren's made him play so many of these. This is below net height. That's on his ankles. And it's got to be perfect because Sandgren's on his way forward. He knows it's coming.
Changed the pace of it. From the gentleness of the slice to the all-out power of the ground shot. And from what we've seen in the 4th set and in this set, this is half a chance. When you get your opponent to 40-30 on his serve, this is a bit of a look at it.
return. He's really made a tactical adjustment in these last 2 sets to take on Dominic's second serve. He doesn't want to get dragged back into the court.
And that was a pretty handy second serve too. It was 163, so it was 10 kilometres an hour above his average second serve speed. Might this be the moment?
Well, Thiem desperately needs a first serve here.
Advantage, Sandgren.
When he's put himself under pressure in service games, it's because Sandgren has been having a look at too many second serves.
They're up on their feet again at high sense. Tennis Sandgren now within 2 games of completing one of the biggest upsets of Australian Open 2018. It's the first break of serve since the 5th game of the 3rd set. And that's not a bad time to do it.
In the way that Sandgren's been serving, you'd have to back the American now.
Just going to keep on going for it and keep on riding this wave. 79% of first serves into play for the American in this final set. And that number has just gone up. 80% now. 20th ace of the match. He's 1 game away. What an incredible story this would be if he can pull it off. 5-2 in the 5th set. Well, this is just extraordinary, John Millman, this story. We've seen players ranked around 100 league top 5 players at the Australian Open before, but rarely have we ever seen it by a man who's playing in his 3rd Grand Slam, by a man who's tried to qualify 13 times for Grand Slams previously and hasn't been able to do it.
Not just that, during his college career, he regularly played at only 3 or 4 for his college team. And now he's staring at being 1 game away from a spot in the Australian Open quarterfinals.
Maybe that's what Tennis Sandgren has been singing Dominic Thiem's way tonight on High Sense Arena. He has rocked him. His team has spent a fair bit of time on their feet in this 5th set, and maybe they're about to stay there. The number 5 seed fighting for his very survival. And it wasn't that far away.
15 love. Ladies and gentlemen, please, once again, as a courtesy to both players, do not call out during play. Thank you. Thirty love.
And that was a big miss too.
30-15.
Gunter Bresnik, much the same as he was at the first point of this match.
14-15.
Team's got to be thinking, just get the tennis balls onto Sandgren's racket, because that will see him experience a pressure that he's never felt before. And that's what he's been able to do. So it all comes down to this. All sorts of firsts in the career of a 26-year-old from America tonight.
Sandgren leads 5 games to 3.
And he finds himself 4 games away, 4 points away from glory. Make that
3. 15 love.
Unbelievable execution here of the wide serve. It's amazing the team managed to get a racket to this. Just opened up a lot of the court. He still had to hit it though under that pressure. Not easy.
Team has to go for the lines now.
15 all.
Oh, wow. I can feel the tension. I'm actually nervous in the box here.
You're not the only one. Great serve again. Hasn't that stood him in good stead?
It's been incredible. This serving display from him, the numbers he's putting forth, they'd have to be career best numbers.
Let's for service.
It is surely one of the more romantic stories of the Australian Open in recent years. It's not that long ago this man was ranked 648 in the world.